Your mind is your greatest asset. What you know, how you think, and the knowledge you accumulate over time will determine the quality of your life. Everything you want, success, wealth, confidence, influence, comes from education. Not the education you got in school, but the education you give yourself every single day. The people who rise to the top in any field, in any industry, in any aspect of life, are the ones who prioritize learning. They do not wait for someone else to teach them. They do not stop growing after they get a diploma. They take full responsibility for expanding their mind, sharpening their skills, and mastering new knowledge every single day. Most people never do this. They stop learning the moment they leave school. They believe that once they finish their education, their growth is complete. And because of that, they stay stuck. They become outdated. They let the world move forward while they remain the same. But the ones who win, they make learning a daily habit. They educate themselves every single day, not because they have to, but because they know it is the key to getting ahead. This is the difference between those who succeed and those who do not. It is not about talent. It is not about intelligence. It is about who is willing to keep learning when everyone else has stopped. It is about who is willing to push themselves to grow, even when no one is forcing them to. Knowledge is power, but only if you keep expanding it. And in a world that is constantly evolving, if you are not learning, you are falling behind. Imagine where you could be in a year if you committed to learning something new every single day. Imagine how much sharper your thinking would be, how much more valuable you would become, how much more confident you would feel. The people who dominate in life do not wait for knowledge to come to them. They seek it out relentlessly. They absorb new information. They refine their understanding. They look for ways to improve, to think better, to make smarter decisions. Education is not something you do once. It is a lifelong commitment. It is the foundation of success, the key to adaptability, the one thing that will separate you from the masses. And if you want to take control of your future, if you want to maximize your potential, if you want to rise above average, then you must make learning a daily priority. The question is, are you willing to commit to educating yourself every single day? Because if you are, your life will change in ways you never imagined. Educating yourself daily is not just about reading books or gathering information. It is about training your mind to seek knowledge, to question, to analyze, and to apply what you learn in real life. Most people consume information passively. They read something, they listen to something, but they never truly absorb it. And because of that, it never changes them. But winners, they do not just learn, they use what they learn. They turn knowledge into action. They take what they study and apply it immediately to their work, their mindset, their decisions, and that is why they grow faster than everyone else. The key to making education a daily habit is intentionality. Most people say they want to learn more, but they do not make time for it. They wait until they feel like it. They read randomly, without direction, without a plan. But if you want to see real results, you need a system. You need to schedule learning, just like you schedule everything else in your life. Whether it is 30 minutes in the morning, an hour before bed, or while you are on the move, learning must be non-negotiable. And it is not just about how much time you spend. It is about what you focus on. If you spend your time consuming useless entertainment, gossip, or opinions that do not add value to your life, you are not learning. You are distracting yourself. But if you spend your time studying strategies, improving your skills, learning from the best, expanding your understanding of the world, you are giving yourself an edge. Because the more you know, the better decisions you make. And the better your decisions, the faster you move forward. Winners do not let a single day go by without improving their mind. They read books that challenge them. They listen to ideas that push their thinking. They study the habits of the most successful people in history. They question their own beliefs and seek out new perspectives because they know that growth comes from discomfort. They do not just reinforce what they already know. They force themselves to learn things that stretch their mind, things that make them think in ways they never have before. And here is where most people fail. They do not think learning is urgent. They treat it like an optional activity, something they will do when they have time. But winners know that learning is the most urgent thing in their life. Because every day you do not learn, you fall behind. Every day you do not sharpen your mind, someone else is getting ahead of you. Knowledge is a competitive advantage. It is what separates those who stay average from those who rise to the top. And it is not just about books. Learning happens everywhere if you train yourself to see it. Every conversation, every challenge, every mistake is an opportunity to grow. Winners are obsessed with learning from everything. They do not just study theories, they study real life. They analyze why people succeed and why they fail. They pay attention to how leaders think, how top performers work, how the best in any field operate. They look for lessons in every experience because they know that life itself is the best teacher. But here is the difference between those who succeed and those who do not. Winners do not just collect knowledge, they apply it. Most people read something, nod their head, and move on. But winners take what they learn and immediately look for ways to use it. They do not just understand a concept, they test it, they implement it, they experiment with it. And because of that, their knowledge turns into real results. This is where most people fall short. They consume without execution. They gather knowledge, but never use it. And because of that, it never changes them. But the ones who educate themselves daily and apply what they learn, they transform faster than anyone else. They improve at a speed that others cannot match. They are always one step ahead because while everyone else is standing still, they are moving forward. So ask yourself, are you really learning every day? Or are you just consuming information without action? Are you really pushing yourself to grow? Or are you staying comfortable, reinforcing what you already know? Because real learning is not comfortable. Real learning is challenging. It forces you to see things differently. It forces you to confront what you do not know. It forces you to level up. And that is why most people avoid it. They do not want to feel uncomfortable. They do not want to question their old beliefs. They do not want to put in the effort. But winners? They crave the discomfort of learning. They know that the more they challenge themselves today, the easier success will come tomorrow. So for the next 6 months, commit to this. Educate yourself daily, not casually, not when you feel like it, not when it is convenient. Every single day, push yourself to learn something new. Push yourself to apply what you learn. Push yourself to develop the kind of mindset that separates the great from the average. Because if you do that, your future will not just be different, it will be unstoppable. Educating yourself daily is not just about accumulating knowledge. It is about becoming a sharper thinker. It is about training your mind to process information faster, to make better decisions, to see opportunities where others see obstacles, the ability to think critically, to analyze deeply, to question intelligently. This is what separates those who succeed from those who struggle. And the only way to develop that ability is to actively train your mind every single day. Most people do not think deeply. They consume surface-level information, accept it as truth, and move on. They do not question what they hear. They do not verify what they learn. They do not challenge their own beliefs. And because of that, they stay stuck. They are easily influenced. They are controlled by emotions instead of logic. They are reactive instead of strategic. But winners, they think differently. They analyze information before accepting it. They challenge their own biases. They train themselves to ask why and how, not just what. And this is where true power comes from. If you can think better than everyone else, you can outperform everyone else. If you can process information faster, you can make decisions with more confidence. If you can analyze situations more accurately, you can move forward while others hesitate. But to do this, you must train your brain like a muscle. You must push it beyond its limits. You must expose it to difficult concepts, force it to wrestle with complex ideas, make it work harder than it ever has before. The best thinkers do not avoid difficult topics. They embrace them. They study history, psychology, philosophy, strategy. They do not just learn what happened. They learn why it happened. They study how great leaders made decisions. They study how the most successful people in history approach challenges. They seek out knowledge that forces them to think in ways they never have before. This is why reading is one of the most powerful habits in the world. A book is not just words on a page. It is the mind of another person. When you read, you are downloading years of someone else's experience, wisdom, and strategy in a matter of hours. You are expanding your perspective. You are sharpening your thinking. And the people who read consistently, they outthink, outmaneuver, and outlearn everyone else. But here is where most people go wrong. They read passively. They skim pages without truly absorbing the ideas. They highlight quotes, but never apply them. They read just to say they read, instead of reading to grow. Winners do not read for entertainment. They read for transformation. They engage with the material. They take notes. They break down the key lessons and immediately look for ways to apply them. Because knowledge without application is useless. And it is not just books. The world is full of knowledge, if you know where to look. Every conversation is an opportunity to learn. Every failure is an opportunity to analyze. Every challenge is an opportunity to refine your thinking. Winners see the world as their classroom. They do not just rely on formal education. They educate themselves in real life. They study people. They study results. They study mistakes, especially their own. But here's the hard truth. Learning is uncomfortable. If you are doing it right, it should challenge you. It should force you to confront your own ignorance. It should push you to rethink things you once believed were true. And that is why most people avoid it. They do not want to feel uncertain. They do not want to struggle with complex ideas. They do not want to question themselves. But the ones who embrace this discomfort, they grow at a speed that others cannot comprehend. And this is why winners separate themselves. Because while most people are looking for confirmation, winners are looking for correction. Most people seek out information that reinforces what they already believe. They do not want to be challenged. They want to be right. But winners do not care about being right. They care about getting better. They seek out perspectives that contradict their own. They study ideas that force them to think harder. They look for gaps in their own knowledge and attack them relentlessly. This is why education is not just about collecting facts. It is about building mental toughness. When you train yourself to question everything, to analyze deeply, to always be learning, you become unshakable. You're no longer easily misled. You're no longer controlled by emotions. You're no longer stuck in the same patterns as everyone else. You develop the ability to adapt, to adjust, to evolve. And in a world that is constantly changing, that ability is priceless. So here's the challenge. For the next 6 months, do not just learn, think. Do not just gather information, analyze it. Do not just read, engage with what you read. Every day, push your mind to work harder than it did yesterday. Ask yourself, what did I learn today? How can I use this? How does this connect to what I already know? If you train yourself to do this, your thinking will become sharper than ever before. Because at the end of the day, the most valuable skill in the world is the ability to think better than everyone else. If you can process information faster, if you can make better decisions, if you can see things others cannot see, you will dominate in any field.